I'm Christian Oliva Del Rio with the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce. This is Rediscover the Verde Valley, and we've been trying things a little bit differently here, as you may have seen in our last episode. We're all working remotely and trying to do our best to figure out all the technical things and bring you some information. Today with me, I have Jennifer Perry. She's the Regional Director for the Arizona Community Foundation for Sedona and the Verde Valley. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me, Christian. I'm really excited to be with you.
How are you holding up over there?
You know, I think I've never been busier, in terms of this crisis. Unfortunately, I'm busy helping people do good things. So I'm just trying to stay positive.
Well, I definitely know that you and the ACF have been doing a lot of amazing things, and I'd like to give people a little bit of history about, what exactly and who is the ACF.
Sure. I think of the Arizona Community Foundation as one of the best kept secrets here in Sedona and the Verde Valley. We are a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to help encourage individuals to give philanthropically to nonprofits in their community to make our communities a better place. So it's a really rewarding job. We manage close to $1 billion in philanthropic assets, and we work with community members like yourself to identify needs in the community and direct those charitable dollars to areas of need in our community.
And it's awesome. You guys are really taking the charge with all of this that's going on with COVID-19. You've kind of stepped up and have really helping out a lot of our local nonprofits. The Arizona Community Foundation has formed the Sedona Verde Valley COVID-19 Community Response Fund. Tell us a little bit more about that and how it works.
Absolutely. With the crisis that we're facing, our nonprofits are experiencing unprecedented demand for their services. And at the same time, their revenue streams have been completely shut off due to the inability to operate their thrift stores, conduct fundraising events, etc. So the Arizona Community Foundation has established the Sedona Verde Valley COVID-19 Community Response Fund, which is a vehicle where individuals, foundations, and companies can donate, and we distribute those dollars through a grant process. And this is what the Arizona Community Foundation does. We've been doing this for 40 years in the state of Arizona. So we're very proficient in the grant process. So typically, it takes 45 to 60 days to process a grant request and distribute the funds. Due to this crisis, we've reduced that time down to 10 to 14 days. So nonprofits have, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've been able to reduce this, and so nonprofits can apply, and we review the grants once a week. And nonprofits can apply every 30 days. And to date, we have helped 22 nonprofits and distributed $183,000 in 5 weeks.
Wow.
Nonprofits right here in our backyard.
Right. So when was this fund established, and what kind is the process for people here?
Sure. Well, it actually started as a statewide fund about 5 weeks ago in mid-March. And ACF, we are a statewide organization. We have offices all around the state, but our central office in Phoenix established a fund. And some of the local donors here said, Jen, I think this is wonderful. I really want to help, but I want to know that my contribution will stay right here in our area and help my neighbors in need. So we were able to establish this localized fund, the Sedona Verde Valley Fund, and Arizona Community Foundation seeded the fund with $80,000 as a match challenge, meaning that they would give us the $80,000 if we got another $80,000 in donations to match it. So I'm really amazed to tell you that we have now raised $200,000 against that match challenge. So we have $280,000 to help our local nonprofits.
Wow, that's amazing. Good stuff. So, you know, that kind of leads me to what we were trying to do ourselves. And I'm so glad I attended a Rotary meeting last week, because I got to hear about this wonderful work that you're doing. And the Cottonwood Chamber was approached by the city of Cottonwood, and the Cottonwood Economic Development Council came together, and we formed a foundation under the council, the CEDF. So it's Cottonwood Economic Development Foundation. And so the city approached us with an idea to potentially create a site, because we were starting to receive calls. People were getting their stimulus checks and didn't really need them, and were willing to donate to locals to help out. And heard you talking about this fund, and it fit exactly with what we wanted to do. So I'm amazed and grateful for what you guys are doing. We've established the cottonwoodconnected.com, and if you go to that website, friends and neighbors here can make a donation, and know that 100% of your donations will go to the ACF and this COVID relief fund. Donations of $25 or more automatically will get a Cottonwood Connected t-shirt, and there's more information about that on that website. So this really just kind of fell into our laps and worked out perfectly, didn't it?
It sure did. And I was really trying to connect with Cottonwood, and I was having a hard time because everybody's so busy right now responding to fires and things. So this was just, you know, I feel, you know, divine intervention. It was meant to be.
It did. It worked out perfect for sure. So tell us a little bit more about how can people contribute, what's the process, and then also if you're a nonprofit, what is the process for a nonprofit to try and access some of these funds? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. It's really simple. Everything is available on our website at azfoundation.org. And if you're interested in contributing, you can make a donation directly on our website. And you'll see the COVID-19 Community Response Fund, and there's like a donate button. And one of the things that's important to note when you do that, there'll be a tab on the donate screen, and you can select Sedona Verde Valley, and all of those dollars will stay here to support our local nonprofits. It's also important to know that 100% of your contribution will be distributed into the community. The Arizona Community Foundation does not take a fee or a cut of the money. This is strictly to support our community members. If you would prefer to mail in a check, you can do that, and you can mail it to the Arizona Community Foundation, P.O. Box 558, Sedona, Arizona 86339. And there's also, because we are in the business of philanthropy, we do have the capability of accepting stock transfers, required IRA distributions. We can accept gifts of life insurance policies, real estate. So we have the ability to accept complex gifts. And we are seeing a lot of people contributing their stimulus check, because we have a lot of retired individuals here in the Verde Valley who have a set income already and may not need that stimulus check. So a lot of people are opting to give that to the fund and help their neighbors in need.
That's wonderful.
For the nonprofits,
Jennifer, we're going to go ahead and take our first quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about ACF and again, how people can help out and get involved. Okay? Great. Thank you, folks, and we'll see you in just a minute. All right.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
Hello, welcome back to Rediscover the Verde Valley. Again, I'm Christian Oliva Del Rio with the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce. And my guest today is Jennifer Perry. She's the Regional Director for the Arizona Community Foundation of Sedona and the Verde Valley. Welcome back, Jennifer. Thanks for joining me again. So, first half, we were talking about, the ACF and this emergency, the COVID community response fund and how it works. So tell us a little bit more about who can apply for these funds.
Sure. This grant opportunity is available to all 501c3 organizations, to government entities, nonprofit organizations, as well as churches and religious groups. And basically, the emergency grants are going to be available as long as we are under a state of emergency here in Arizona. The guidelines for this funding opportunity is right now, while we're in a state of emergency, we are providing funding priority to organizations that are providing critical care support services, basic needs for our neighbors and community members in need, such as food, helping the elderly, personal protective equipment, medical support for children at home or at-risk individuals. So that's currently the funding priority, and we welcome all nonprofits to apply for funding. There's an application on our website, and again, this is a really simple application. It's a one-page, unlike other grants that people may be familiar with that are 10, 12 pages, lots of information. We tried to make this as easy as possible to help facilitate getting the money out as quickly as we can. After the state of emergency is lifted, and if funding is still available, we will shift our funding priority to recoveries. So there are a number of nonprofits who are suffering right now because of the crisis and the shutdown of, basically the economy, that really struggling financially and are looking for grants to help them recover from the lost income. Those organizations that aren't necessarily providing critical care but still need support, we encourage to apply for a recovery grant when the state of emergency is lifted. Nonprofits can apply every 30 days. So right now we just completed our 5th week of grants. So we're now beginning to see some organizations reapply.
That's excellent. That's great information, and it's tough. I don't know if you can share with us some of the organizations that have applied and been granted, because I think it's pretty amazing. All of these organizations are so important to our community and doing such great work out there, and I'm just so touched and proud that you guys are helping them. So share with us some of that, would you please?
Sure. This is the real wonderful part about all of this. I get calls every day from executive directors of nonprofits, and literally they're in tears when they understand that they've received grant funding from us, that, you know what, they're working so hard to shift their operations and the logistics of doing what they're doing under these circumstances, that these dollars that can help not worry about how they're going to buy the food, but more on how they're going to get it to them. So we've done a lot of support to the food banks. Basically, all of the food banks in the Verde Valley have received funding from Arizona Community Foundation, including Manzanita Outreach, the Bread of Life Mission, Project Rising Hope, the Old Town Mission, the Sedona Community Food Bank, the Verde Valley Senior Center, the Sedona Community Center, you know, all the food groups, organizations are receiving funding, and now they're beginning to reapply. We've also provided funding to some of the local fire departments and law enforcement agencies to help them with PPE equipment. One story that I think was really wonderful was the Camp Verde Library applied for funding, and they were really thinking out of the box compared to the other things that we've been seeing. And they're the only library that is open currently in the Verde Valley. And they requested funding for laptops because there's so many individuals who are home who don't have access to a computer or the internet. And with all of the resources that are available from the federal government and the unemployment and the stimulus checks, you need to be able to get online to be able to apply for those. So they now have laptops that people can use outside the library and social distance tables. They can check them out for 2 hours. They're fully sanitized. And I just thought that was a great use of the emergency grant funding.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's good stuff. Are you hearing anything from schools, or are they able to get any help as well? Or, you know, I mean, like I say schools, I'm sorry. I'm thinking more like, you know, the daycares. Buena Vista Children's Services, obviously, might be one of them. That's one that's near and dear to my heart as well. I was able to sit on that board for a while. But, you know, I know some of these little organizations really are struggling. And so, you know, are you hearing anything from some of them?
We are. That's a great question. And thanks for bringing that up, Christian. Yes, Buena Vista Children's Services has received funding, as has Precious Stones, you know, and their enrollment has dropped significantly, but they're also providing such important services because many of their children that they're taking care of, their parents are typically frontline workers and have to work to help our community members. And so they're caring for the children. And it's just beautiful to see the collaborations and everybody working together to support our community needs.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I sure do appreciate you guys doing this good work. Yeah, I really don't know where we would be today if all of these organizations were not able to get this help. It would definitely be a little bit more grim, unfortunately. So God bless you and thank you for the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you. You know, we're not doing the work. We just facilitate. You know, there's a lot of people who want to help out there and who have the means to help. And we're just the conduit. We're just connecting people with ways that they can make a difference. So we're just a conduit.
Well, thank you for being that conduit, Jennifer. We sure do appreciate you. We're going to head into another break right here. And Jennifer, I want to thank you again very much for joining me. I'm looking forward to you. I did RSVP for the Rotary Zoom meeting we're having at noon, so I hope to see you there. And again, thank you so much for joining me. And we'll talk again very soon.
Thank you, Christian. My pleasure.
Okay. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll see you in a minute.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
Welcome back to Rediscover the Verde Valley. I'm Christian Oliva Del Rio, the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce. With me this morning is Brian Sawyer, the partner at the Butler Leavitt Insurance Agency Incorporated, right? And yep. Brian, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sure you're dealing with a lot of craziness, things that we've really never had to deal with before, right? It's been a little bit nuts.
Well, that's true. That's true. The COVID-19 situation and the troubles in the economy are affecting the insurance industry and clients countrywide. This is uncharted ground for all of us as far as questions about insurance coverage. How do we get claims covered? How do we get discounts on our insurance policies? What do we need to do is what the client is asking us on a daily basis.
Sure. We've been getting a few phone calls ourselves. So in the last segment, I was able to interview Jennifer Perry, and I was sharing that I'm thankful that I attended last week's Rotary meeting because we had quite a few great connections there. So Brian, you're also a member of Rotary there and longtime friend. I know I've been with the chamber for 13 years and I've known you for at least that long.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And I was a former chamber board member for 4 years, and that's where we got acquainted. I've actually been in the Verde Valley for 16 years, and it's the only place to be.
Yeah. Sure. Well, we sure do appreciate you, and we sure do appreciate Butler Leavitt Insurance and what you guys are doing. So, tell me a little bit. What kind of calls are you experiencing a little bit more of? I'm sure, are you getting any kind of like workers' comp claims and those kind of things, or?
Well, we're not hearing anything about workers' comp claims, but what I can tell you is the insurance industry basically says that, say, for example, one of your employees contracts COVID-19. The employee is welcome to submit a claim if he believes that he truly got the infection or got the coronavirus at his place of work. And workers' comp could perhaps cover that claim. There has to be pretty good validation that he picked it up there before the workers' comp claim could be paid under that side of the insurance piece.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing that is coming out as far as workers' comp on a national level is that for those businesses that are paying people, but they're not really doing their normal work, say if they're working at home, say if they've been furloughed, there is going to be a possible classification code difference to categorize the payroll into those, quote, non-workers, or they're not doing their normal hazardous duty, might get a lower rate when it comes to your year-end policy audit for those workers.
Interesting.
You get a discount.
Yeah. So,
right.
Some of the questions that we've received too is, some businesses have actually applied or had a loss of business income coverage or business interruption. Are you seeing more like claims or things like that? And can you clarify that a little bit for us?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a lot of businesses that are closed, obviously, for the stay-at-home period. And it does cause them a loss in income. And truly, the coverage was written for those businesses that have, locations, physical locations, maybe stores, maybe restaurants, maybe offices, and they're closed. What the coverage is written to say, it says, if you sustain a physical loss to your building or to your suite you're occupying there, such as fire, smoke damage, vandalism, water damage, while you're closed and during the period of restoration or repair, we will pay your loss of profits plus ongoing expenses during that period of time. And that's truly what it's truly called business income and extra expense coverage. That's what it's designed to pay for. And that's the way all the policy forms generally are written. So that's really how business income is designed to pay. And what's interesting is that because of SARS, years ago, because of Hong Kong flu, maybe going back in 60s, 70s, whatever, there has been in the property insurance policy that business income, doesn't pay if it has to do with anything with a virus or bacterial infection, unfortunately. So unfortunately, what I'm telling folks out there is there really generally will not be coverage for that kind of loss because no physical damage occurred at their business location. However, that being said, the insurance industry, because not all forms are standard, said if you're not sure, let your agent, let your company submit a claim for you. They'll get with each claimant to determine, whether coverage applies or not.
Sure. Definitely need to read your policies in the fine print and all of that, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Unfortunately,
that's why we also have you, Brian, because you're the master when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I appreciate you as an asset and a resource here. So, are you seeing people having a hard time with paying their premiums? And what is the insurance industry doing to help some of us out that are out of work potentially? Or
right. Actually,
revenue streams.
Yeah, great question. The answer is most of the insurance companies that we work with have given premium payment leniency, and they call it COVID-19 premium payment leniency. For example, one of the commercial insurance companies we place a lot of accounts with, Travelers, has just extended their payment provisions that say if you can't pay your bill that's due now, we'll actually give you until June 15th to make that payment. So there's some lenience there, and most of the companies that we're dealing with on the commercial insurance side, they're slowly coming aboard, and there's many others that are adopting the premium payment leniency, so extending the amount of time you have to pay without canceling your policy.
Well, I'm sure that's definitely going to be helpful for a lot of people. So
certainly,
unfortunately, a lot of us are having to prioritize what we are paying that we can pay. Sometimes insurance gets pushed down on the list, unfortunately, right? And that really isn't something we should do. We need to make sure that we're always covered.
Yeah, indeed, Christian.
Right. So, I'm sure you're seeing a lot more people actually working from home. What are we seeing on the personal auto and home owners insurance and rebates? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. What we're seeing on automobile policies that you have personally, because everybody is home, they're not driving as much, there's less chance of being in an accident. And the insurance companies have basically almost universally said, we're going to give you a discount on your premium because we know you're not all out there driving. We're seeing a lot of companies say 15% discount. We have other companies that say, we're just going to send you a rebate of $50. That's kind of throughout the insurance industry, that's kind of the model we're seeing most companies, whether they go through Butler, Leavitt, or maybe it's a State Farm or others are jumping on board with that. And that's very well deserved. They are going to
definitely. I think it's helpful to a lot of people for sure. It's one less thing we have to worry about, and potentially a little bit of money coming back to us. So, so again, along those same lines, and so we're seeing a lot of people working from home. Can you tell us a little bit more about, maybe employees working from home and what we might consider for our cybersecurity and, doing these kind of chats, right?
Yes, cybersecurity is very important. So if you have a company laptop and you're working from home, it might be very wise to have everything you're doing with the laptop be encrypted. So hackers can't get in there and try to steal your stuff. I mean, it makes it a bit more secure. You need to have your proper firewalls in place. We're hearing from our insurance industry that a lot of the hackers are jumping into Zoom meetings with you. You don't even know they're there, and they're grabbing your, personal information, your business information.
Sure.
So be sure you have a computer person you can talk to about making sure you have all the protocols in place to protect your information, and protect the information of your clients as well.
Right, definitely. Well, hey, Brian, I really appreciate your time, buddy. We've come to the end of our segment here, and I'd love to get you back on the line so we can maybe talk a little bit more recovery and what the insurance industry is doing there. We're making a lot of plans moving forward. So let's tell everybody we got news.leavitt.com is the website that you want to go to for resources and more information. And Brian, give us your phone number. If people need some help, they can reach out to you.
Certainly. Let me tell you, news.leavitt, and Leavitt is spelled LEAVITT.com. Okay. Phone number here at Butler Leavitt Insurance is 634-5521. We're all working behind the scenes and with social distancing. We'd love to have a conversation. Thank you, Christian.
Wonderful. I appreciate you, buddy. And I'll see you at Rotary in about an hour or so, right?
That was great. Be safe.
All right, my friend. Yeah, stay sanitized and stay safe.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you, Christian.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye.